Welcome to another Georgia prison war story. Smith State Prison in Glenville, Georgia was a world of gangs and gramminess where only the ruthless survived. Among its most feared inhabitants was an inmate named Evil Folks, a name whispered in the darkest corners of the compound. After a country bumpkin judge gave the 5'7" menace a life sentence, it didn't slow him down. In fact, it had only made him more unpredictable. He had earned his reputation through a series of brutal acts, each more savage than the last, all carried out with a grin that sent shivers down even the hardest convict's spines. Evil Folks had long since embraced the chaos of his environment. His days were spent running the prison's underground economy, contraband, gambling, and a network of informants who kept him ahead of any threats. His dorm was his throne, and he ruled it with an iron fist. After going 3 days without a roommate, administration placed someone in his cell one transfer day. Pedro was different. A Mexican immigrant in his mid-30s, he had only been locked up 2 years on a 15-year sentence for trafficking and moved quietly, his eyes always scanning, his words measured. Despite his soft-spoken nature, there was something about him that even evil folks respected. Pedro didn't flinch in the face of violence, nor did he seek it. Instead, he observed, calculated, and waited. It wasn't long before they found common ground. Late one night, after lockdown, they started talking about the lives they had left behind. Pedro spoke of his days running shipments across the border down in Texas, the brutal efficiency of his cartel, and the methods they used to send messages. Gruesome, inventive, and merciless. Evil Folks listened, fascinated. It was a world he had only heard about, and now he had a front row seat to its most horrifying details, like the gruesome decapitations, neck muscles and tendons hanging and dripping with fresh blood due to a dull axe. One evening, after losing a high-stakes bet on an NBA game, thanks to LeBron's son missing an easy layup with 0.2 seconds left on the clock, Evil Folks found himself at odds with an inmate named Seaport Tank. Tank was super big, slow from West Savannah, Georgia, and not nearly as smart as he thought he was, but he had won fair and square. When the 6'7", 410-pound Crip pressed Evil Folks for his money, a fight broke out. Evil Folks didn't hesitate after saying he wasn't going to pay the big beast. With just a few swings, Tank was left writhing on the ground with slits across his face, neck, and stomach. Evil Folks grinned as he slithered back to his cell, lucky that the incident took place in an area of the dorm where the surveillance camera didn't reach. That night, Pedro chuckled as Evil Folks recounted the slashing. "You think that was something?" Pedro said, shaking his head. "Back home in Mexico, we do things differently. When someone crosses the cartel, we send a message, a real message by taking off their head with a machete, for starters."
Why you staring at my booty like that? Since you want to act all thirsty, you need to hit that like and subscribe button for this video. You keep staring at my booty and I'ma tell my man GK and he ain't gonna let you watch his stories no more.
Sorry folks, quick commercial break.
Hey ladies, is your man or your girl tripping about licking that itty bitty kitty? Well, you need to go over gkdavid.com and order one of these shirts, then wear that bitch around the house and make a statement. If she don't get with the program after seeing you in this shirt, then you need to go ahead and drop him or her off at the nearest bus stop somewhere. Hit that link in the description and grab one of these. Evil Folks leaned in, intrigued. Pedro smirked. To make a long story short, we sometimes send people back in several pieces. In Evil Folks' mind, a seed was planted. Days later, a civilian inmate named Dirty Boy, because he was known for skipping showers, who worked in the prison kitchen, made the mistake of selling Evil Folks some burgers on hot dog and hamburger day that he had gotten back to the dorm by hiding them in the ass part of his boxers after the CERT team made a surprise visit to the kitchen that day. After Dirty Boy's roommate saw him pull the burgers out of his butt, he told one inmate who told another, until the whole dorm jokingly started calling the food booty burgers. Word got back to the handful of inmates who actually bought one of the burgers, and they were 38 hot, which means they were pissed. Evil Folks just so happened to be one of those inmates, and he smashed his burger as soon as it was handed to him hours earlier. After hearing the news about his food being smuggled to the dorm inside of Dirty Boy's smelly, hairy ass, he became disgusted and enraged and decided that Dirty Boy needed to be taught a deadly lesson, one that Pedro's stories had inspired. He had the means, he had the mindset, and now he had the victim. Evil Folks waited patiently that night until Dirty Boy finally decided to hop in the shower after Evil Folks made his roommate force him to wash his ass. As the skinny, hairy, dark-skinned kitchen hustler washed up, Evil Folks snatched open the dorm shower door and struck a swift punch of the peanuts that knocked the wind out of Dirty Boy. You ever heard of the cartel special? Evil folks whispered, pulling out a super sharp machete, which was actually a contraband lawnmower blade that the gangster had bought from an inmate on the grass-cutting prison detail. Let me show you that I'm the wrong nigga to sell a booty burger to. For the next few minutes, the shower stall echoed with animal-like howls as evil folks used his big blicky to sever Dirty Boy's head from his wiry body, taking only 6 whacks to get the job done. When the minutes finally stepped away, the shower was drenched in red blood as if paint was splashed all over the stall. When lockdown came, the officer found Dirty Boy's crumpled head and wet body curled up in a bloodied heap, his face swollen, his fingers broken, and a chilling message carved into his face: "Don't play with my food." The prison buzzed with whispers. A new level of brutality had entered Smith State Prison, and it had evil folks' name written all over it. For this dastardly deed, evil folks was immediately sent to the tier program, but got lucky, only serving 7 weeks because the camera in the dorm that night had malfunctioned, so there was no evidence of him ever going near the showers to behead inmate Dirty Boy. Y'all stay tuned for my next Georgia prison war story titled Lil Boosie Wanted a Tattoo on His Man Meat. Just that title alone should let y'all know that's going to be a crazy story. And stay tuned to this channel because I'm just getting started with these Georgia prison stories. I did 3 years on my first bid at age 22. Then I came back in that bullshit a year after I got out and did a 9-piece for a total of 12 years altogether. So I got memories for days. My real name Joshua, but niggas in the chain gang called me Mr. Motherfucker because I was good at staying on top no matter what I was involved in. I was born in that deck shawty, but I grew up in Cobb County and Smyrna. I'm just a real dude, y'all. At one point in my life, I was a crip, but I've been chasing Lord Jesus ever since I got pulled out. I'm still sinning, but one day I'm going to fully come to God. I hope all y'all gangsters do the same thing.
Hey everybody, it's Special Agent Vlad here from Vlad TV. I just want you people to know that I just booked an interview with Young Thug, that lucky son of a bitch. When I hit him with the questions I got for him, his ass will be back in the Fulton County Jail on Rice Street before the inmates are served that nasty-ass oatmeal and mystery meat sausage. This time he ain't getting probation. Y'all know how the feds do. We ain't the state. We get a conviction.
And to all y'all YNs out there listening, don't join the gang, join Jesus.